confidence of the Lexus GX's full-time four-wheel drive, the power of its remarkable towing capacity, and you, speechless after experiencing it all. During the Lexus Command Performance Sales Event, experience the sounds of versatility now with extraordinary offers on our most elevated SUVs, including the RX, LX, NX, and capable GX. Now through April 2nd. See your South Florida Lexus dealer.
That's right, you might be Donald Duck. Hooray for Hollywood. This is Damn You Hollywood. And tonight, I am your host, the mandated reporter, and frankly, I'm mortified, Mr. Mark Radulich. Robert Winfrey is on vacation in sunny Los Angeles. He's actually in Hollywood, and he's currently outside Warner Brothers Studios shaking a fist at them. Damn you, Warner Brothers, damn you to hell. But enough about Robert Winfrey. I've thrown him off the boat. I've replaced him with two very good hosts, very good co-hosts. They host their own shows. First, the disapproving dad and the host of Source Material in his own right. The man who I can say, Jesse, I have a project that I can very well do myself, but I want you to do it because I don't want to do it myself. And he doesn't. And so he's a good egg in my book. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Jesse Starcher. How do you do, sir? Woohoo! Oh, no. So let me address that. Before I address it, though, let me bring on our third chair here. He's the host of the Screaming by Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the Harumphy Humph. He's Ronnie Adams. Okay, no one's taking that from you, sir. Welcome to the show, Ronnie. Thank you. glad you could be here. With all of that out of the way, we are going to review Tomb Raider this evening, as this is Tomb Raider week on the Radulich and Broadcasting Network. It came out this past Friday. We all saw it. We're going to talk about it. But before I do, let me quick address what Jesse was talking about. I had contacted a Facebook group, Movie Pass fans. If you don't know what Movie Pass is a monthly membership where for $10 a month you can see one movie a day, every day, all month long. And whether you use the e-ticketing service or the traditional ticketing service, essentially You pick a movie, you check into your theater, it either loads your card or you can reserve a ticket, depending on how the theater works, and then you get essentially a free ticket to go see a movie, as long as it's not Dolby or IMAX or 3D or something. Which, by the way, the three of us are all members of this, and we've been all using it pretty well. I go see a movie a week now. Well, I'm part of a Facebook group that's, as I said, Movie Pass fans, and I contacted them and I said, hey, can I start posting my reviews of movies that I've seen using the Movie Pass? And I was going to start with this one, as a matter of fact. And I was told, sure, but there are some conditions. And there are always conditions, aren't there? They said, no foul language. It has to be G-rated. And if you've ever heard any of my podcasts before, you know that that's not easy for me. I can curse with the best of them. The other thing it was no spoiler. If there's going to be spoilers, make sure you say at the top of the show. Make sure it's very plainly obvious to any idiot who might be clicking into the show. There are spoilers here. Stop crying. That's easy enough. We always say that there's spoilers at the top of the show. And I was telling my wife about this, and look, my wife is very, very good about calling me out on my bullshit. She doesn't always have it right, but more often than not, she kind of gets me back on track again when I stray off the path. And she said, don't change the show to accommodate anybody. Do the show that you want to do. Those who like it will come and listen to it, and those who won't will stay away. But if you try to change the show to accommodate that group of people, they're not going to like the show anyway. It's if they're looking for a G-rated non-spoiler review, that's just not you guys. No matter how much you clean up the language, don't be a sellout. It's not worth it. Right. Do the show that you've been doing. The show is called Damn You Hollywood. Do Damn You Hollywood. So she's right. So we're not changing the show in any way. There'll be cursing in abundance. Because sure. Because we can. God fucking damn it. All right. What? Is your pig filthy? Hey, hey, your pig is filthy. Clean it. All right. Hey, your pig is filthy. Got it. All right. As I said, Tomb Raider came out. Now, before we get into the movie, real quick, both you guys saw it. Are you familiar? Like, tell me a little bit about your familiarity with the Tomb Raider franchise. Have you guys played the games? Have you seen the movies? Have you jerked off to the porn? Tell me your secrets. Tell me lies. Tell me sweet little lies, Ronnie Adams. And your thoughts on all of the above? You're referring to Cradle of Life? Okay. Which I'll be defending on trial this Thursday. I like a challenge. All right. All right, Jesse. Tell me lies. Tell me sweet little lies. Tell me your thoughts on God, because I'd really like to meet her. Good night, everybody. I may have played the games when I was younger. They didn't leave much of an impact on me, but I definitely watched the movies, and I'm revisiting them now in preparation for this week and on trial and whatnot. So let's get into the first part of our review here, which is the plot synopsis. And this is normally Robert Winfree's job, and I always yell at him about, don't go into business for yourself when you're doing this. Just do a plot synopsis. Stop editorializing. Let's see if I can follow my own goddamn advice. All right, so McNulty from The Wire. So McNulty... The Wire. So McNulty is Lara Croft's dad, and he has disappeared, leaving Lara a vast fortune and his company. However, she has opted to not take ownership of these things, trying to make a life for herself, but also because she does not want to admit that he has died, that he is gone forever. She believes he's out there somewhere. She just needs to get to him. So she's living the life of a bike courier. And, we spend some time getting to know her at the beginning of the film. She does a bike race, and we get to see her working, and we get to know her situation. Lara reluctantly accepts and gains... she's basically threatened that if you don't take your inheritance, then they're just going to start selling off her father's estate. So reluctantly, she accepts and gains access to her father's office, where she finds a pre-recorded message from McNulty detailing his research into Himiko, the mythical queen of Yamatai, who was said to command the power over life and death. And McNulty tells her, burn it all, burn everything, because he doesn't want this information and this power to fall into the wrong hands. Lara, being a stubborn child, does the exact opposite. She instead travels to Hong Kong, to find the man who brought her father to the island, and she ends up finding his son. And they go off after a bit of a chase and a bit of a thing. They go off and essentially crash into the island. This is where she meets Shane from The Shield. This is the ultimate team up. So Shane from The Shield, who is Walton Goggins, is our villain in this, and he has been charged by a group called Trinity, I believe, to take what they have of McNulty's research and find Himiko, and they're using basically slave labor to do it. She escapes. Once it is revealed what is happening, she is taken prisoner. She ends up escaping. We get to, and this is where we start to see elements of the video game being implemented into the movie. We have her flying through trees and jumping over things and crashing and all of that, and never dying, and not once. She gets a stick in the gut. That's the worst that happens to her. But with all of that, she ends up finding her father. She finds McNulty, and they have a reunification. And, of course, he's disappointed in her for not burning the research. She decides, to hell with you, and she's going to go after Shane herself and try to stop him from finding Himiko. Inevitably, they all end up at the tomb, and McNulty is there, and they all, and through threats of violence and death, they all end up going into the tomb, and this is where we get into the third act of the movie. They get all the way there. They find out that she isn't so much magical as she is diseased, and they want to use they essentially want to use the disease as a biological weapon, and so she has to stop Shane from escaping the tomb with the biological weapon in hand, and inevitably she does. Why? Indeed. Very good, Jesse. So, Lara returns to London, where she formally accepts her inheritance and inadvertently discovers that Trinity's front company is actually owned by Croft Holdings. She proceeds to investigate Trinity further among her father's files and begins to suspect that Anna Miller is one of their agents who manipulated her into accepting her inheritance in order to have Lara sign over control of Croft Holdings' business operations to her when Richard Croft stopped cooperating with Trinity. Having witnessed Trinity's ruthlessness firsthand, she prepares for her next adventure to thwart their future plans. Can you say franchise? All right. Normally this is where after Robert does his plot synopsis, he turns it over to me, and I give my thoughts. I'm gonna take the role of Robert here and turn it over to you guys. Ronnie Adams of the Screaming Boy podcast. What did you think of this movie, and did it live up to whatever expectations you had? That was awesome. You shut your face. I certainly can. Did you think she was pretty? See, let me. I want you to say your piece, but let me tell you, I thought she was deceptively pretty. Like when I see her on the posters, all grimied up and and dirty from the chase. I'm like, I don't know, with your hair back like that, like you're okay. I didn't think in some of the promotional material she had the sex appeal of an Angelina Jolie, an enhanced Angelina Jolie, I should say. However, when she had her hair down, when she was flitting about London as a bike courier, I was like, woo, she's hotsy totsy. I'm into this. You're pretty. I'll watch your movie. Not a lot. Well, this would be why I've never heard of this broad. those damn evil manacles. Yeah, I have. Let me tell you what I thought here. One, it's always very dangerous trying to adapt a video game to a movie because the whole concept of a video game is you have to present these ongoing physical challenges to your avatar. That's the game. You're moving left to right, jumping over things and crawling under things and punching bad guys to get to the end. You don't necessarily have to do that in a film. And so it's trying to find that balance between, and then there's the idea of how much of your film do you want to look like the video game. And I'm always reminded of a online film reviewer who I used to watch. He's since gone into retirement, well, at least last time I checked. But I was a big fan of Confused Matthew for a time. And he would comment about how certain movies felt like video games that he couldn't play. and that was not a good thing. That was a negative criticism of a lot of the movies that he didn't like. So that's what I mean by balance. You want it to somewhat resemble the video game. You want there to be a nod to the video game without it becoming a video game that you're just watching someone else play. I thought they struck the balance there pretty well. I mean, it's a 2-hour movie, and you spend a lot of it just getting to know her. And in some of the situations that she's in, I wouldn't necessarily equate them to video game action. I mean, maybe the bike race thing, but not really. Could you really see that being the open to a Tomb Raider game? I did not. Oh, good. I just got a lot of copyright infringement notices. Yeah. Anyway, well, we played a lot of stuff that wasn't necessarily on the album. All right, I should stop looking at my email. All right. So I thought they struck a balance between nods to the video game and it just, and just giving you good movie action. I thought they spent a sufficient amount of time getting you to know this gal, figure out what her world is all about, who she is, what's going on with her, and I thought the motivation the motivations that she has made sense. She didn't want to give up the idea that her father had died. That she wanted to hold out hope that he was still alive, and so if she never claimed the inheritance, that at least in her mind, she could believe he was still out there somewhere. She just needed to find him. Let me ask you, did you guys think it was a little hokey how she started to go on that adventure, though? With the puzzles and everything? Like, okay. Here's where I start to have a little difficulty with this movie. I remember walking out of it going, I was satisfied. Like, I didn't think it was like the best movie ever. I just, I thought it was an. Here's the thing. I thought it was an okay action flick. If it had been called anything but Tomb Raider, I don't know if I would have seen it. No. Okay, so a couple of things. One, why is this on the list for Damn You Hollywood? It's a franchise movie. And clearly, I believe this is Warner Brothers. Yeah, Warner Brothers is going through their IP going, all right, well, we fucked the DC cinematic universe 8 ways from Sunday. Well, there's only so many Harry Potter movies we can make. And is Tolkien still alive? Can someone get J.R.R.? Oh, he's dead. Damn it. Well, we're out of Lord of the Rings shit now. They're just, the Warner Brothers is scrambling to put together, franchises that would be competitive with Disney, that right now basically owns Hollywood, and Universal, which is a hot second place, sometimes in first place. It's like Disney and Universal in a constant battle for first place, and Warner Brothers just jerking off in a closet somewhere trying to make itself feel better. Just looking in a mirror, going, "You stink. You're terrible. Nobody likes you." So clearly they were, they were looking through their IP and they were like, okay, let's try to rehabilitate the Tomb Raider franchise, especially with all the girl power stuff coming out now, and the popularity of Wonder Woman, and next year I'm sure Captain Marvel will be, will be a phenomenon. If they don't mess it up, it'll be probably just as big a phenomenon as Wonder Woman and Black Panther were. So I think they were trying to jump on that bandwagon. With that being said, and here's the question I have for you, Ronnie, and I'm not really answering your question, Jesse, but I will. But in 2018, is anyone really looking for a Tomb Raider movie? I mean, I hate when reviewers say we don't need this, because we don't need any of these things. But I do have to ask, if you're a producer, if you're an executive at a studio, and you're looking around at the landscape of movies, what do people want? What do women want out there? Do we as a movie-going populace want a Tomb Raider franchise in 2018? Has not the time of the IP has not time passed the IP by? Warner Brothers. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Sorry. Oh, Justice League lost so much money. My kids, I had to pull my kids out of private school. They have to go to public school. Public school! Do you guys have any insight as to what went wrong with the Tomb Raider franchise the first time around? I mean, they had an A-list they had an A-list celebrity. They were, I think, going for. I mean, I've only rewatched half of Cradle of Life, and it's been a long time since I've watched the original Tomb Raider. But I felt like they were serviceable action films. I mean, refresh my memory. Where do you think they went wrong, Ronnie? Oh, I could spend hours talking about Ang Lee's Hulk and what's wrong with that movie. You said budget. Are you intimating that the Tomb Raider movies look like crap? Okay. Okay. $115,000. It was stick figures. What? He did a great job with it. You mean the great ones? Batman Forever and Batman and Robin? Ronnie is currently looking for a mute button to mute me. No, but really, Batman and Robin should have been nominated for an Oscar. Joel Schumacher, you're my hero. Anyway. All that being said, and I think that's really good insight and information. One of the things that's going to come up, I think, during the Tomb Raider reviews, and I haven't read a lot of them. Normally, I'm a little bit more. I'll do a little bit more of a deep dive into the reviews and kind of get a feel for what the critics are saying about a movie. The little bit that I gleaned from this movie's review was that this one took the source material way too seriously, whereas the Lara Croft ones were really, really silly. And they favor, and in a motif such as this one, they favor silly over serious. And I will tell you that I watched that ending sequence where she's jumping over the spikes and she's trying to jump the chasm with the pick and everything, and that whole ending. All I could think about was I felt like I was watching a video game, and this is the silliest thing I've ever seen, and I was enjoying myself. But like anyone who thought, like, I didn't think they took this seriously. I mean, this wasn't Batman v Superman serious, where they were trying to promote the source material to a transcendent level and failing miserably. But I think that I don't think at all, and this is kind of be the last point of topic on this before we move on to the next section. I think the movie is successful in it being a basic adventure storyline where everyone seemed to be trying hard and believing in the material and giving good performances. I don't think there's a bad performance in this. All right, and with that said, we'll move on to the next part of our Damn You Hollywood show. Ladies and gentlemen, here come the money.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money,
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar.
All righty. On a budget of almost $100 million, 94 to be exact, $94 million. We are currently sitting somewhat pretty at $130 million worldwide. Here in the States, it's so far made $25 million and change, and overseas it's made $105 million. I think it probably makes it to $200 million and dries up about there. It minimally profitable. What say you, Ronnie? I want you to reconsider your thoughts on that, because here's what it's got coming up. Here's the competition it's got coming up just in the next 3 weeks. Okay? Yeah. So that's where I'm getting my figures from. So this Friday is Pacific Rim and Sherlock Gnomes. Now you're like, wait, and Sherlock Gnomes? Hang on. You got to remember, your action movies, maybe not for kids as young as mine and Jesse's, but maybe his eldest child. But you for an action movie like this, you are trying to bring in some of the adolescent audience, and so they're either going to see Pacific Rim or they're going with mom and dad and their younger brothers and sisters to see Sherlock Gnomes this weekend. And then the following weekend is Ready Player One. Yeah, it's fucked. So, April 6th, there's nothing on my calendar other than a movie that I'm going to go see and to not review, just to go see it with my movie pass, Chappaquiddick. But Rampage comes out April 13th. And then the John Cena comedy, which apparently is getting rave reviews, Blockers, comes out on the 20th. Then again, we skip a week and there's not much happening on April 27th. Sorry, I take that back. There's a big movie coming out April 27th. You know what it was? On my calendar, it doesn't say in big friendly letters Avengers on Friday because I have the time that I'm going to see it on Thursday instead. I take that back. So you've got Rampage, Blockers with John Cena, and then The Avengers. Yeah, Tomb Raider doesn't have a chance. I think Rampage will own the theater for 2 weeks. The week that it comes out and the week after, because it doesn't have a tremendous amount of competition in the action genre. And then The Avengers will wipe everything out. Will wipe everything out in its path. Well, hang on. Let's see if Baywatch made any. Let's see if Baywatch made any money. Baywatch 2017, because it doesn't. The quality doesn't matter. In a conversation like the one we're having, when you say, well, what was the last rock movie that did poorly? A lot of his films are not great, but they do well. So like on a $70 million budget, it made almost $200 million. It did fine. No, it was. It absolutely was. It was an action comedy. A lot of chases. So Jumanji was a phenomenon. Baywatch made money. He was in The Fate and the Furious, and obviously that made money. He was in Moana. That made money. Central. Yeah, it's still making money. As well. Why? It was fun. I love the hell. All right, whatever, Robert Winfrey. What? You sure you can. You absolutely can. The one with Robin Williams or the one with The Rock? Yeah. Real quick, like Central Intelligence, this movie with Kevin Hart. Yeah, I enjoyed it. You know what? I miss Robert Winfrey to start screaming how much he hates Kevin Hart. But that one made $217 million on a $50 million budget. So The Rock's niche is either gigantic, big blockbuster movies or these cheaply made comedies that do well because of his star power and whatever else. Let's see. He was in San Andreas, which did pretty well. He had a cameo in Gem and the Holograms. Let's not talk about that. But let's go as far back as the 2014 Hercules, which was actually based on a comic book. Hint, hint. Jesse. Hint. Comic book. It's Hercules. It's based on a comic. Okay. Yeah, sure it was. It was based on the graphic novel Hercules: The Thracian Wars. I kid you not. The movie with The Rock is based on a comic book, on a graphic novel. Yeah, neither did I until I started looking up more. More. It's not that Hercules. This is from Radical Comics. Sorry, there's more than one comic book company out there, Jesse. So yeah, on a $100 million budget, that one made $244 million. So I mean, not everyone that he does knocks it out of the park, but his movies don't fail at the box office typically. So that being said, let's see how we did over the weekend. Tomb Raider debuted at number 2. Black Panther is still breaking records and kissing babies out there. I think 5 weeks it's been the number 1 movie in the world. It's amazing. So Black Panther is still number 1. Tomb Raider debuted at number 2. I Can Only Imagine debuted at number 3. A Wrinkle in Time, otherwise known as Reese Witherspoon Turns into Cabbage, dropped from drops 2 to 4. Dropped from 2 to 4. Love, Simon debuted at number 5. Game Night, which was really funny, by the way, dropped from 5 to 6. Peter Rabbit dropped from 6 to 7. Strangers Pray at Night 3 to 8. Red Sparrow 4 to 9, which I've heard is not great. Death Wish, otherwise known as We Love Guns, dropped from 7 to 10. Annihilation, a great science fiction flick starring all women that nobody saw, dropped from 8 to 11. Jumanji is still in in the top 20, dropped from 10 to 12. 7 Days in Entebbe debuted at number 13. The Greatest Showman is still out there, dropped from 13 to 14. The Hurricane Heist, one of my favorite movies of this year, dropped from 9 to 15. Having Sex with Water dropped from 12 to 16. I haven't seen it. I'm totally ripping that off from somewhere else. Gringo dropped from 11 to 17 in its second week. 50 Shades Free, Ronnie Adams' favorite movie this year so far. I can't continue. The Death of Stalin rose from 29 to 19. Thoroughbreds 15 to 20, and debuting at number 21 was Raid 2018. So here's where we stand worldwide for the year so far. Obviously, Black Panther is still number one with almost $1 billion, $2 million. It's just about there. And then we have a couple of foreign films. We got Operation Red Sea and Detective Chinatown. Then Ronnie Adams' favorite movie, 50 Shades Freed, at number 4, with $365 million. By the way, Ronnie, because I know you were wondering about this, 50 Shades Freed had a budget of $55 million. It's made $365 million worldwide. It's almost made $100 million in the United States alone. It must be. Hang on. Hey, hang on. Let me go get my popcorn. All right. Pulling the popcorn out and go. I went with a girl who wasn't my wife. Am I supposed to reevaluate my life, sir? Well, I have been called a pretentious douchebag on more than one occasion. If a pretty girl wanted to go on a date with you to the movies, and she said, and the only movie she wanted to see was 50 Shades Freed, you're telling me you wouldn't go? A pretty girl. Everything else about this girl is perfect. Everything about this girl you love more than life itself. It's the one thing. The one thing. I'm sending you an article that we have to talk about when we do the Toys R Us thing, Ronnie. No, I'm being serious. No, I'm not. I don't have this. I don't have the strength. Sir. Who the hell do you think you are? Are you done with your rant, sir? Are you done with your rant? Because I kind of interrupted you with a challenge, and you're sticking to your gun, so I have to give you credit for that. Sure. I don't have the strength to fight you tonight on this. Let me know when you're done. Yeah. I already... and Jesse pretty much cut that argument to shreds. Yeah. Yep, it's lying next to Colton as he plays, as he draws pictures. Colton's drawing pictures of what Jesse cut and left on the floor from that argument. All right, I've had enough of you. Ronnie Adams' secret fetish movie, 50 Shades Freed, is the number 4 movie in the world. Monster Hunt 2 is number 5. The Maze Runner, The Death Cure, is number 6. Paddington 2 is at number 7. Insidious, number 8. And Peter Rabbit, number 9. And then Tomb Raider has broken into the top 10. It won't be there for long. God, A Wrinkle in Time hasn't even made it to $100 million yet. Yikes. that's going to be a loss leader for Disney, unfortunately. Not that it'll matter after the Avengers. And they put in Reese Witherspoon turning into romaine lettuce. Does she know? I will tell you that looking at this top 10 list, there are only 3 movies that are north of $500 million. Everything in 50 Shades Freed isn't one of them, Ronnie, in case you were wondering. Everything else is less than actually $400 million. So I would imagine over the month of April and May, everything from 4 to 10 is going to get wiped out of the top 10 quickly. Not really, to be honest with you. I mean, I've talked about a little bit about it, but I mean, Robert Winfrey condemns me for having a movie pass because then I go see movies like The Hurricane Heist. You know! For the next hour, guys. Sorry. He's a cat. Well, I'll tell you. I mean, to do the show costs me money because I have to. I mean, I'm not going to screeners. I'm paying for these movies. And my wife was like, my wife told me at the beginning of the year, she's like, if you're going to continue to do this movie review show, you need to get Movie Pass. Like, there was no real discussion about it. Now, she was like, I'm willing to accept the occasional Avengers, where, you know, I already bought my ticket for the Avengers. I'm one of those people who broke the pre-sale record. Because I knew I was going to go opening night. I knew I was going to go Thursday after work. So she was like, okay, every once in a while for a movie like that, like, I can see you buying your ticket ahead of time. But for all these other movies that you go to, she's like, they're not all Star Wars. They're not all going to sell out. There's no reason why you can't do Movie Pass and save this family the hundreds of thousands of dollars you're spending at the movie theater for your podcast that generates a 10-cent return. So I was like, good point. My parents go to the movies once a week, same as I do. I go every Friday night. They go, I think, every Wednesday afternoon. They both have a Movie Pass. Yeah, they see everything. You know, like I said, Chappaquiddick comes out in a couple of weeks, and that's not a movie I would have gone to see because it's not a movie that I would review with Robert Winfrey because I'd like to torture him. And that would you all love me and you know it. But you know, the whole motif of the show is to do the blockbusters, the franchises, you know, that kind of thing. Chappaquiddick does, as much as I want to go see it, doesn't really fall into that mold, and I wouldn't go see it in the movies without Movie Pass. You know, I like most of the movies I saw this year so far because like I don't really start going hot and heavy until now. Actually, like April and March and April is when the blockbusters start coming out these days. Like, you know, February and January outside of Black Panther are all dead months. But like I saw I, Tonya, Proud Mary, 12 Strong, you know, and these were not movies I would have seen in the theater normally. Don't know. It was the first Movie Pass movie I saw. I saw it at 10 o'clock at night and slept through half of it. On You Hollywood. All right, Jesse, Ronnie, I have a question for you.
Are you ready? No! I said, are you ready?
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
All right, here we go. If you've never listened to a Damn You Hollywood, boy, did you pick a weird one to start with. But if you've... But if you have never... Yes, sir. What? What's your question? Why is no one talking to me? So the whole thing is I say, I have a question, and then Triple H says, are you ready? And then Michael Scott says, no. No, no, no. Have you not listened to one of these shows before? Do you not know? Oh, my God. All right. And I just droned into nothingness. All right. If you've never listened to a Damn You Hollywood before, boy, did you pick a doozy to tune into tonight. This is the part of the show where we review the reviewers. We go to Rotten Tomatoes and we look at these excerpts from professional reviewers, and we tell you why they all stink at their job. Here we go. Does it? As happy as the first time you saw a 50 Shades movie? One day, my wife keeps saying, like, we need to take a trip and, like, go to Ohio or West Virginia or Pittsburgh or whatever, and meet all you guys. And I told her, I'm like, that's fine. Pretty sure though, we'll get along with everybody. But the first thing Ronnie's going to do is kick me squaw in the balls. Now we got that out of the way. Let's go get a beer. All right. Luke Parker of We Got This Covered says, Oscar-winning actress Alicia Vikander's attempts at establishing dramatic control over the film are outdone by the naturally goofy atmosphere that any movie like this fosters. She did. We are off to a roaring start. Robert would be like, "Aw, I've been replaced." Let's move on to the next one. Let's just move on. Bobby Lap. Okay. Oscar-winning actress Alicia Vikander's attempts at establishing dramatic control over the film are outdone by the naturally goofy atmosphere that any movie like this fosters. There we go. Second. You pretentious douche. She won the Deceptively Pretty award. That's right. So right up there with 50 Shades. Please tell me she won an Oscar for a fetish movie where she's just eating Danishes. In a slightly askew robe. Bobby? Bobby Lapire of Film Threat. The editing is shockingly bad. The green screen is some of the worst in recent memory, and the characters are so underdeveloped it seems inappropriate to use the word characters on them. No, I mean, again, I saw Reese Witherspoon turn into lettuce. It was not believable. I sent her tomatoes and canopies. Anyway, Mario Allegre of Proxima Tanda. The bar has been set so low for video game movies that it doesn't require much effort to make something mildly entertaining. All right. Pixels. All right, let's go. Mortal Wombats. Sorry. Based on... Oh no, that's gonna be the best one. Well, here's a list of movies based on video games. Okay, you ready? Yes. You got. No, this is just a list. Okay. Super Mario Brothers, Double Dragon, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, Wing Commander, Tomb Raider, Resident Evil, Cradle of Life, House of Dead, Resident Evil Apocalypse, Alone in the Dark, Doom. Well, that gets my vote. Blood Rain, Silent Hill, DOA, Dead or Alive, Postal, Resident Evil Extinction, Hitman, In the Name of the King, A Dungeon Siege Tale, Far Cry, Max Payne, Street Fighter, The Legend of Chun-Li, Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time, Tekken, Resident Evil Afterlife, Resident Evil Retribution, Silent Hill, Need for Speed, Hitman, Agent 47, Warcraft, Assassin's Creed, blech, Resident Evil, The Final Chapter, and Tomb Raider. And forthcoming, we've got Rampage, Dynasty Warriors, Detective Pikachu, Sonic the... That's on the list for next year. Sonic the Hedgehog, Uncharted, and Sleeping Dogs. Okay. I have a couple things I need to tell you right now. Next year, there's going to be a Minecraft movie that's already set for release. But you know what's in development right now, Jesse Starcher? Do you know what's in development? And I expect you to be there opening day when it comes out. Dragon's Lair, the movie. Yeah, something like that. Dirk to Dirk. Yes. Yep. All right, let's get back to... All right, Susanna Polo of Polygon. After years of attempts, no one expects a video game movie to be high cinema. But if Tomb Raider wasn't going to be great, I at least held out hope that it would be entertaining. Yes. Rosebud. Rosebud frozen peas. They're full of vitamin A and green penis. That's terrible. I'm out of... You've never heard that? You've never heard that? That's from Pinky and the... That's from Pinky and the Brain. Yes. Yeah, they did. They did. I will find you the clip when we're done with this show and send it to you. Rosebud frozen peas. They're full of vitamin A and green penis. Isn't it awfully nice to have a penis? It was a pun, Jesse Starcher. They got away with a lot of that shit on that show. All right, moving on. Brooke Corso of The Monitor. Unfortunately, this emphasis on rebooting the character does less for actual development and feels like too much wasted time between plot points. Apparently, she doesn't like watching movies, I'm guessing. Well, if you like that one, you guys are going to love this next review. Graham Tuckett of stuff.co.New Zealand. While Vikander may bring it physically, she totally lacks the chemistry of a lasting matinee idol. She never makes us laugh, and for a film called Tomb Raider, that really is missing the point. Because as we know, Tomb Raider is this raunchy comedy. Yes. Okay, here we go. He gave Game Night a 3.5 out of 5. I'm reading it. Yeah. No. Not in that excerpt. I don't know about you, but I saw Schindler's List. I couldn't stop laughing. The belly laughs, in Schindler's List. Matt Goldberg of Collider. Boo, we hate Collider on this show. Roar Uthaug's movie is a constant drag, always leaning into the seriousness of the story, but rarely finding the joy in the journey. Who's eating chips? Don't do it into the microphone. All right, that one. Go. Yeah. Shots fired. Nick Vidala, Philadelphia and Daily News. You can take Angelina Jolie out of Tomb Raider, but you can't make the movie any more exciting, even if you replace her with Academy Award winner Alicia Vikander. Yes. I want action tonight. Satisfaction. All right. Ah! All right, last one of the night here, and I'm curious to see how you guys are going to handle it. Dana Barbuto of the Patriot Ledger. Let's hope the next script can match Lara's strength and newfound badassery. Otherwise, let's lock the crypt and throw away the key. Actually, okay, this is actually going to be the last one because this one's hilarious, and then we're going to go. Tara Brady of Irish Times. One can only assume this is Alicia Vikander's anniversary gift to Michael Fassbender so that he can feel a bit better about the underwhelming Assassin's Creed. Yeah, it was. Ugh, that's a long 2 hours that I wanted back when it was over, and I slept through half of that. It's terrible. Ugh. All right. Yeah, we did. No, I wasn't on that show. That was Robert and Sean Comer. But yes, we. All right, folks, that brings us to the end of our review. I want to thank Jesse and Ronnie for agreeing to do a commentary track for the 50 Shades Free trilogy. And wait a minute. Come here, horsey. You know, it makes me laugh, even though you guys can't hear the sound effects. But I can't warn you. But I'm beating a dead horse. Get it? All right, moving on. Tomorrow night on the Metal Hammer of Doom, please join us as three pretentious douchebags review yet another album. So yeah, the Metal Hammer, the Metal Hammer of douchebaggery. Yes, the Metal Hammer of douchebaggery. Will review the new Judas Priest album, Firepower, and okay. Do you like Judas Priest? Good. Tune into our show so I can shit in your mouth. If you've got an accent, if you're a foreigner with an accent trying to sing a Judas Priest song, come listen to our show. I got something to tell you. Yeah, my wife told my father-in-law about about me giggling about how the baby metal chick pronounced painkiller, and then I got called a racist for it. And my father-in-law goes, "You're right. It's absolutely racist to call out things that are a fact." I not once said it was a bad thing. I thought it was adorable, and I needed to point it out. But apparently, I'm a big bully, a big fat bully. So whatever. Yeah, we're gonna fuck Baby Metal's career right up. The Metal Hammer of Doom and our 30 YouTube subscribers. We're coming for Baby Metal. The fuck out of here. Yeah. Thanks, Ronnie. And Thursday on the Rattleton Broadcasting Network on Spreaker, we'll be doing On Trial. We'll be capping off Tomb Raider week with Lara Croft, Tomb Raider 2, The Cradle of Life. Next week, we've got a bunch of different shows for you. We're going to have on Source Material celebrating the new show on Sci-Fi, Krypton. We'll be doing Superman: The Many Worlds of Krypton, Volumes 1 and 2. We'll be doing Robert Winfrey will be back, and we'll be reviewing Robots Punching Monsters 2, otherwise known as Pacific Rim Uprising. And then Jesse and I I'm sure we'll have a bunch of Metal Hammer of Doom extras, but the Metal Hammer of Doom will be reviewing The Sword, Used Future, on the 28th of March, and then we end the week with a Screaming Boys show about the rise and fall of Toys R Us. So that ought to be a fun panel discussion on the Screaming Boy. All right, and speaking of the... and speak... Ronnie Adams of the Screaming Boy podcast. I've already plugged your next show, but why don't you go ahead and tell people what the Screaming Boy is all about and where it can be found outside of the Rattledge Broadcasting Network, sir. No, that's my job. I love that story. Hang on, my favorite part of that story was the two kids ignoring the tape. I don't know why this is here. I gotta play some Time Crisis. Josh Calandros. Screaming Boy podcast is going to fuck your eardrums. All right, and speaking of fucking your eardrum, Jesse Starcher, go ahead, do your plugs. I have corrupted Jesse. Woo! All right, once again, thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Ronnie, for putting up with my shenanigans tonight and reviewing Thank you. And reviewing Tomb Raider with me. This has been the Rattledge and Broadcasting Damn You Hollywood review of Tomb Raider. We'll be back next week to review Pacific Rim Uprising. Be well, be safe, and behave. Don't talk, Ronnie. It's theme music now. This is outro music. We're playing music. There's some music.
Got to get money.
What a matchup!
And what a team, Mike. Metro PCS and the iPhone SE for $0 on a network that covers 99% of people in the U.S. Oh, impressive.
Play with the best. Switch to Metro PCS on an unlimited LTE plan and get a 32-gig iPhone SE for $0. Metro PCS. Coverage not available in some areas, plus sales tax. Claim based on talk and text. Not valid for active numbers currently on the T-Mobile network or active on Metro PCS in the past 90 days. See store for details and terms and conditions.